إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن الأصدق الحديث كتاب الله. For surely the most truthful of speech is Allah's book, the Quran. وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم, and the best one to guide the people to the most perfect understanding and to the most perfect application of what Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala revealed in His book is His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَشَارِ الْأُمُورِ مُحْدَثَاتُهَا, and the most evil of affairs are those newly invented matters that the people have introduced into this deen. فَإِنَّ كُلَّ مُحْدَثَةٍ بِدْعَةٍ, for surely every newly invented matter in this deen is an innovation. وَكُلَّ بِدْعَةٍ دَلَالَةٍ, and every innovation is on a pathway leading astray from Allah's path. وَكُلَّ دَلَالَةٍ فِي النَّارِ, and every pathway leading astray from Allah's path is in the hellfire. فَلْيُقَاتِلْ, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala commands the believers who have sold the worldly life for the next life to come to fight. فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يَشْرُونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا بِالْآخِرَةِ, against those who sell their religion for the meager goods of the world. They only do this because of their disbelief and lack of faith. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala then says, وَمَنْ يُقَاتِلْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ فَيُقْتَلْ أَوْ يَغْلِبْ فَسَوْفَ نُؤْتِيهِ أَجْرًا عَظِيمًا, and whoever fights in the cause of Allah, whether he is killed or triumphant, he will earn immense compensation and a great reward with Allah. The two Sahihs recorded, وَتَكَفَّلَ اللَّهُ لِلْمُجَاهِدِ فِي سَبِيلِهِ, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala has guaranteed for the mujahid who fights in his way, in توفاه أن يدخله الجنة, that he will either bring death to him, submitting him into paradise, أو يرجعه إلى مسكنه الذي خرج منه بما نال من أجر أو غنيمة, or he will help him to return to his home with reward and booty. وَمَا لَكُمْ لَا تُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَالْمُسْتَضْعَفِينَ مِنَ الرِّجَالِ وَالنِّسَاءِ وَالْوِلْدَانِ, and what is wrong with you that you fight not in the cause of Allah, and for those weak and helpless and ill-treated and oppressed among men, women, and children? The Muslim converts in this country, for the most part, are the descendants of the victims of American slave trade. And many of us, after our conversion, we go through a series of misdirections. Instead of being directed to focus on the words of Allah and submission to the Quran and submission to the instructions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we get directed to con artists and speech makers, or to join with foreigners who redirect our focus to interfaith with white Kafirs, or to madhabs, or to sectarianism, instead of being directed to love what Allah loves and to hate what Allah hates, and to command the people to do what Allah commands the people to do, and to forbid the people from doing what Allah forbids the people from doing. We get misdirected by misguided con artists who are not from us, who benefit from our suffering, and they teach us that righteousness is focusing on following their programming that somehow benefits their people, but not our people. They like for us to focus on what's happening in the foreign lands, in Afghanistan and Syria and Iraq and Yemen and Palestine and Bosnia, and to forget about the suffering of our own people and our own realities of being the most helpless and ill-treated and oppressed people among men, women, and children in this country. And we have no home to go back to or to focus on except this one right here. Ali ibn Abi Talib said, لَمَّا دَمَمْتُ إِلَيَّ سَلَاحَ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ. When I took possession of the weapons of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَجَدْتُ فِي قَائِمِ سَيْفِ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ sallallahu alaihi wasallam رَقَاتًا فِيهَا. I found in the handle of his sword an untanned skin with written words saying, Sil man qata'ak wa ahsin ila man asa'a ilayk wa qulil haqq walau ala nafsik. Keep relations with your relatives who cut you off, and behave well towards them when they treat you badly, and speak the truth even against your own self. When we converted to Al-Islam, we didn't know anything about Syria except for that Syrian who sold our grandma a car that needed major repairs in a week. We didn't know anything about Palestine except for that Palestinian down at the corner store selling liquor and porn in our grandma's neighborhood. We didn't know anything about Kashmir except for the store man selling cancer and diabetes and high blood pressure to our people. Al-Islam is not against the oppressed. So how is it then that you converted to Al-Islam just to become subordinate to those who sold their religion to become beneficiaries of black suffering? Or how is it that you converted to Al-Islam to become a class of Muslim beggars for the crumbs in the pockets of poverty pimps in denial of the hostilities and contempt against our people? Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala says in the Quran, Ha antum ulai tuhibbunahum wa la yuhibbunakum. Lo, you are the ones who love them, but they love you not. Your newly found brothers are exploiting the oppression of your people, and you are made to focus on foreign issues while they have liquor stores in your grandmother's neighborhood. Al-Islam is revolutionary, complete, absolute, and perfect. The only correct way to believe in Al-Islam is to believe in it in the exact same way that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahabas believed in Al-Islam. That is the correct belief. So don't drift away from it to the right or to the left. The only correct way to believe the Quran is to believe the Quran in the exact same way that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahabas believe in the Quran. That is the correct belief. So don't drift away from it to the right or to the left. And the only correct way to practice Al-Islam is to practice it in the exact same way that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahabas practiced Al-Islam. That is the correct practice. So don't drift away from it to the right or to the left. So don't let anybody prevent you from being the warrior class of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahabas. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala says, وَمَا لَكُمْ لَا تُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَالْمُسْتَضْعَفِينَ مِنَ الرِّجَالِ وَالنِّسَاءِ وَالْوِلْدَانِ. And what is wrong with you? You're supposed to be the warrior class, fighting in the cause of Allah, and for those weak, ill-treated, and oppressed among men, women, and children. Al-Bukhari recorded that Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma said, I and my mother were from the oppressed in Mecca. Al-Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib radiallahu anhu was forced to accompany the pagan army against Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Mujahideen at Badr. Al-Abbas was taken captive by the Mujahideen, and he was offered the opportunity to pay his own ransom. Al-Abbas radiallahu anhu said, Ya Rasulullah, I am a Muslim. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allahu a'lamu bi Islamik. Allah knows whether you are Muslim or not. فَإِن يَكُنْ كَمَا تَقُولُ فَإِنَّ اللَّهُ يُجْزِيكَ. And if you are Muslim like you claim, then Allah will reward you. وَأَمَّا ظَاهِرُكَ فَقَدْ كَانَ عَلَيْنَا. But what we see from you is that you are against us. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this narration is teaching us that we judge you by what you show us. What's in your heart is none of our concern. What's in your heart is between you and Allah. But we are going to deal with you based on what you do in front of us. We see what you do, and you are what you do. So when we see what you do, we see what you are. In Al-Islam, good deeds are whatever the Quran commands you to do, and evil deeds are whatever the Quran forbids you from doing. Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu said, Inna unasan kanu yu'khadhuna bil-wahyi fi ahdi Rasulillah. During the lifetime of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, revelation would come down and tell us what's in the hearts of people. وَإِنَّ الْوَحْيَ قَدْ انْقَطَعَ. But the revelation has stopped. وَإِنَّمَا نَأْخُذُكُمْ الْآنَ بِمَا ظَهَرَ لَنَا مِنْ أَعْمَالِكُمْ. So now we're going to judge you by what we see. And we're going to make our judgment based on what appears from you. فَمَنْ أَظْهَرَ لَنَا خَيْرًا أَمَّنَّاهُ وَقَرَبْنَاهُ. If what you display appears to be Islamic, we will accept that. We will trust those and favor those who appear Islamic in front of us. وَلَيْسَ إِلَيْنَا مِنْ سَرِيرَتِهِ شَيْءٌ وَاللَّهُ يُحَاسِبُهُ فِي سَرِيرَتِهِ. And we will not call him to account for what he does in private. Allah will judge him for what he does in private. وَمَنْ أَظْهَرَ سُوءًا لَمْ نَأْمَنْهُ وَلَمْ نُصَدِّقُهُ وَإِنْ قَالَ إِنَّ سَرِيرَتَهُ حَسَنَةٌ. And if what appears from you is that your actions are in disagreement with submission to the Quran and the Sunnah, we will assume that you are a disbeliever, even if you claim to be otherwise. O you who believe, don't let them fool you with their kufr, and don't let their open and public acts of rebellion against submission to the Quran and the Sunnah discourage you from striving to be the perfect Muslim. وَلَا يَسْتَخِفَنَّكَ الَّذِينَ لَا يُوقِنُونَ. There's nothing wrong with striving to the utmost of your ability to be the perfect Muslim, completely and perfectly Islamic, inside and out. So beware of those who discourage you from being the perfect Muslim. And beware of those who don't practice what they preach. Al-Islam is perfect. When you follow Al-Islam, you are following perfection. May Allah wa ta'ala purify our hearts and our actions so that we stand firm and hold tight to that which He perfected. And may Allah wa ta'ala help us see the truth and help us to follow the truth. And may Allah wa ta'ala help us to see the falsehood and help us to avoid following the falsehood. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم.